Last night was the beginning of the Republican National Convention. I want to go through some things with you, point out the obvious, tell you what to listen to, what not to listen to, what to ignore, because there is so much out there that you must ignore. Know when to be a telescope, know when to be a microscope, know when to zoom in, when to back up. Know what's important, know what's not. Critical thinking. Get rid of the unnecessary. You're being thrown into a world of so much data, so much you can't follow it. I want you to imagine this analogy. Remember Frozen Man, James Taylor's, God have mercy on those Frozen Man? Imagine we revive him now from 18, whatever it was. He's been dead. He's been gone. He's been in a coma. The last thing he remembers is the 19th century on our ship. And we say, we want to show you something. I want to show you something. I want to show you what the world is like. We take her from the hospital and we open the door and imagine we're in the middle of a Stones concert finale, Satisfaction, MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, packed, loud, stage, lights, music, amplification, Mick Jagger, screaming, yelling, weed, pot, this, bop, bop, bop. And that's what he goes from. He goes from 19th century, quiet on a ship. He walks out, and there he is. Imagine drinking from a fire hose. That is what you are being given. You are being blasted with information. You don't know what to make anymore. All of a sudden, JD Vance, you're asked, what do I think about JD Vance? What does it matter? What do you mean, what does it matter? They're telling you we've got to talk about JD Vance because nobody is actually asking what is it that's important and what isn't. What's critical? Have you ever been to you go to the doctor and you get your lab results back and he says, what the hell is all this stuff? And your doc says, don't worry about having, don't worry about that. This is the one you got to look at. Look at this one, this. Well, why do you have all these other things? I don't know. To justify it. That's what this is. So we're going to go through a few things. First, I'm going to give you an appraisal. I'm not here to praise unless I think it's important. I will praise if I think it's important. First, this isn't praising. This isn't me saying because I think he's a groovy guy. Donald Trump is not human. He's not human. Now, I want you to sit back and I want you to stop and just put all this JD Vance stuff aside. What Vivian Vance, I think, is more, but Ethel Mertz is more important. But in any event, it's nice. Let me get this out of the way first. I don't care about his background. I don't care about his background. His background means nothing to me. It's nice. It's a good story. It's a great story. I don't care. He was hard scrabble, came out of nowhere, hillbilly, and his wife, great. Richard Nixon came from a background, too, where he fought and scraped, and some people think it really gave him a kind of a chip on his shoulder, at least when he was younger. Made him kind of crazy. He hated people because he felt like, how come they were raised normally and I wasn't? This lunatic, whose name I will not mention, who tried to assassinate our president, he had a normal background. Hell, he was in a BlackRock video. He had a normal background. His parents aren't to blame. Well, what about that? I don't know. The Winklevoss twins or Elon Musk, billionaires, might have had, interesting lives. People who came from lives that were one of privilege might say, in my part of the world now. I don't want to live in this. I don't care about money. I want legacy. I want to do something. Money doesn't mean anything. JD Vance, for all we know, could say, have you ever had money or fame before? I like it. I like it. I'm not saying that's true. What I'm trying to say is it's a nice story, but it doesn't mean anything. What are you going to do for me now? What's your role now? I love all these stories. Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln, what? They say could be gay, might have had syphilis, gave it to us. I don't care about this. Half of the stuff they write about people is nothing. Donald Trump had a life of privilege. Parents and his father sent him to a military school because he was acting like a horse's ass. Always. They said he's a snob. He's a snob. This and blah, blah, blah. Yet, when the moment happened, he showed, I can only call it Braveheart or something. He showed this incredible sense. Good morning, lecture 2. Grazie mille. He showed this behavior that nobody would have ever guessed. Let me say this again to you. Here he is. He's almost 80 years old. He's active. You're there, and you have heard God only knows how many times you have heard threats of harm, threats that come to the various agencies, threats that you're inundated with them. You're not going to hear about him. He's not going to announce. He's got to walk out with a vest. He's walking out there. He has been told countless times. And some of us would say, you know what? Screw this. Let's do a remote thing. What do you say? Let's do a remote rally. Huh? We got remote everything else. Let's go remote. What do you say? He didn't do that. And if anybody else, you don't know half of the threats he's received. But he does it repeatedly. This man of privilege, this guy from Queens, and that Victor Davis Hanson always says his Queens accent. Donald Trump has no accent. No Queens accent at all. I don't know where. I've always wondered, why do you say that? Literally, bro. Literally. He has no accent, literally. In any event. So as it happens, as all these people, he thinks, oh my God, the moment's here. After all, say, what the hell is this? You know what this is. 2, 3. Wow. Get down. And you could hear, because the mic's open, you could hear at the time. And they're trying to get him behind the podium because there's this armor there, and they're trying to get around him. And he's fighting. Many of us would have soiled ourselves. But he can't wait to get up. And the first thing he thinks of, not this, not, oh my God, help me. Ah. Remember the picture of Jim Baker? Remember Jim Baker from PTL Club when he was taken to prison? He was crying. Remember that? You never know. You just never know. He turns to the audience and in Braveheart fashion, pumps his fist and says, fight. When I saw the F, I thought, my lip reading is not that great. I thought it was something else at first. I said, oh, no, it's fight. Which I could have understood it the first time. F you and you. Okay. But anyway, he does this thing. So he stands up, and there he is. It's the most incredible moment. It's Mount Suribachi. It's the true Secret Service people kind of holding him up. with old glory, which some units, some media seem to keep out of the equation. What you saw was sheer absolute. It was one for the ages. You don't know how people are going to act. You don't know. He could have pulled an Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin, when he was acquitted, not acquitted, excuse me, he really wasn't. The case was dismissed. Alec Baldwin's case was not decided on the merits, nor was President Trump's documents case. They were dismissed for other reasons. You see Trump crying? He had the same thing. And Melania, you see Melania going up and hugging him, and she really has an accent. She really does. Charo, his wife, Ilaria, it's all, how are you going to do it? Are you going to stick with the accent? How do you keep a fake accent for a fake reality show? I don't get it. It doesn't matter. But this goes to show you what the guy's about. It's just incredible. It's incredible. And the counter of that with Melissa McCarthy, their little butterball, who's in the back trying to find. Can you figure out how to get the Miss DEI? You're never going to find her name. Remember the woman years ago? Her name was Jessica Starr. That's for you, my friends. That's for you. It's a sound of freedom. Jessica Starr. There was a tragic. I think it was a TV star. Something. I think something happened. But this was the one who said no. Remember that? Remember the famous one? The first Karen. No. Don't know who she was. She just kind of. It's like the bro. Hey, bro. Literally, bro. It was like the guy in front of the tank at Tiananmen Square. Who was that guy? Well, I don't think he's. Who knows? Anyway, this agent, who is every meme. The memes are phenomenal. They are without peer. Do you hear what I am saying? They are without peer. Okay. They are incredible. Because we don't need political cartoonists anymore. We have this. We have this. You hear what I'm saying? Listen carefully. This is just incredible. So anyway, there he is doing it. So that's that. Let's talk about JD Vance. Good man. Good. What am I supposed to say? He came from, I know his story, but you never know what he's going to do. And it's a good story. I'm not minimizing it, but I want to say this in a nice way. So what? Half of these corrupt people came from impoverished backgrounds, good background. I don't know. What kind of background did AOC come from, or Maxine Waters, or Nancy Pelosi? Go down the list. Who? What was their background? What? You want to go through Ilhan Omar's background? I don't know. Is that the one you want? I hate when they do these stories. I'm sorry. I don't. It's gratuitous. And these people, they get these EDAs, these everyday Americans. You lose me on that one, okay? That's okay. I want something so programmed. I don't want there to be a lull in the moment. I want there to be lull. I expected last night more of a thunderous applause. It was almost anticlimactic. Who noticed that? Did you notice this one? It was just, I want every bit of stagecraft worked. Every part of this work. Did you see when he walked out with this security contingent? Not a woman in the group. And this is not about women, because I'm going to tell you again, there was a woman on the stage, on the dais, whatever it was, who was there with the rest of the boys. And you cannot have people who are shorter than, look, if somebody came to me and said, listen, you're a great guy. Well, thank you. But you cannot be on the security control, Because of your height, your figure, your age, whatever, I say, okay, it's okay. Nothing personal. I got it. I got it. Can't do a lot of things. I can't work at Hooters. Always been a dream. DEI, my arse. I got it. I understand. You can't do it. I got it. I got it. Now, there are some things I can do that other people can't do. No matter how tall they are, no matter how much they weigh, no matter how young they are. I have my own set of talents, my own skill set. And when that particular task comes to play, then I will succeed. That's the way it goes. It's not, we're all different. We're all different. And if you play the tuba, yeah, you're not going to get a lot of gigs at the musicians union. Sorry. The great jazz tuba player, Howard Johnson, one of the greatest. Not exactly in demand. Life's like that, okay? Okay, good. Next. In no particular order. Mrs. L and I were talking about this. By the way, I say this to you, my friends. Follow her immediately at Lynn's Warriors. I cannot say this enough. She is talking about one particular topic which nobody seems to be interested in for reasons I shan't understand. And that is, what are you telling kids? What do you tell your kids regarding what happened? Now is a good time, especially for families who have, how do I say this? For those who have, weapons in the home, or who have, whatever. It's a good idea to talk to your kids about that. And for all you know, kids have a weird way of showing trauma. By the way, this is her link right there. This is Mrs. L's link. Follow it immediately. And she's Lynn's Warriors on Twitter as well, or X. I can't say X. I was 5 years old when Kennedy was shot. I remember that. My mother was crying. I wasn't traumatized, but I was thinking to myself, some kids are weird though. Some kids, things trauma are more traumatic. So anyway, that's that. So I appreciate all this. These folks who say, and I used to be a Trump supporter. Don't tell me about why I'm sorry. I could have taken all those people. I don't need them. I'm sorry. Especially people with OnlyFans. And I'm sorry. You know what? Sorry. Stick with the theme. When you get somebody out there and they're normal Joes, it kills the momentum. Especially when they're not professional and they look confused. I mean, God bless them. I don't need that. I want every section of stagecraft. I want lights. I want music. I want production. I want people to leave that every night crying. I don't want there to be a dull moment ever. And I do hope that Melania is going to show up at some point. Maybe not the first night. But didn't you feel it anticlimactic when Trump came on like that and he kind of just sat there? And I'm looking, it's like, what about poor Tiffany? Did you ever see Tiffany? Like, Tiffany, over here. Oh, yeah, right, Tiffany. Yeah, you're Marla's. Oh, hey, how are you? She's like not even in the whole thing. And Don Jr. is looking for 2028. Oh, because he keeps saying, well, JD Vance, that's my buddy. And we're trying to build a legacy. Look, let's just hold off on that, okay? Let's just hold off on that. Don's Jr. got a little bit more growing up to do. We'll get to that later, okay? And you know that Kimberly's like, arr, arr. She can't wait for that one. And this does seem to be, because remember, in 2028, you know what's going to be? Gavin Newsom. Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah. Anywho, next. Mrs. L and I, she said, and I agree with her. Let me answer the question. Do you agree with the following? Trump should have never, ever, ever returned any call from Biden about anything. That guy is the enemy. These are not Democrats. They're not going to get along. They're the enemy. They are ruthless. They know nothing, and they deserve absolutely no mercy, no consideration, no nothing. Who's with me? Who's with me? Unless you say, yeah, I'll talk to him. Yeah, do me a favor. Hey, Joe, you're not going to remember me saying this. Let me put it this way. Why don't you go and then just let him have it? Make Andrew Dice Clay look like Dr. Ruth, whatever the hell that means. Trump still doesn't get it. He still doesn't understand it. You can't be a gentleman. And what he's doing right now, what scares the hell out of me, is he says, and I'm afraid of this. You know, when you've had a near-death experience, you say, you know, isn't it about time that we, to quote Dr. Rodney King, that we just get along? BS, my friends. Caca del toro. Okay? Merd. No way. No. You can go through that. I understand that. You're speaking for me. And I've been going through this. We've been suffering with him since, when was this? June? Remember the Trump escalator? It was 2015. It was in June. Trump escalator, June 2015. What was it? It was. Yep, it was June. Hang on, escalator. It was 2015. What was it? I know it was June. Whatever, June 14th, right? Yeah, June 16th, 2015. Yep. June 16. How do I do this? June 16, June 6. Oh, no. I'm always trying to think of some kind of a numerical, like 4 squared times 2. Trying to think of something. June 16th, okay? You got that? It's interesting how that was. From that moment on, we have been through hell. From that moment on, we have had to endure everything. From that moment on, we have been through this ridiculous nonsense of masks and all this other kind of garbage. From that moment on, and let me tell you something. Let me make it very, very clear. Let me make it very clear. Show, give no quarter. Asking nor giving any quarter, as the great Gordon Soley would say. Let them have it. We have been with you, sir, since the beginning. They have been brutal and merciless. They've come after our jobs, our social media. They wanted to tag us like cattle, walking around. Show us your papers. Show us your papers. They came after you and your family with the emoluments clause. The emoluments clause. You were impeached twice. Adam Schiff, these people are the enemy. Show no mercy. And let me also tell you something. And I don't know how they're going to do it, and I don't know what's going on. But if you turn your back, if you think like, oh, well, because here's the story now. Oh, well, they realize that, well, we've lost this one. So let's see if we can do something about, oh, I don't know, taking the Senate or working on the down ballot. Are you kidding me? They have contingencies worked out. See, they don't have a Mitch McConnell. They don't have these quislings within the Democratic Party like the Republicans do. The Republicans are a bunch of backstabbers. They smile in your face. Bro, literally. Okay? They're the worst. Bradley Oplin knows something about backstabbing. Did you see Judge Napolitano, Ray McGovern, and Larry Johnson yesterday? I did not, sir, but I will look forward today. Love those dudes. We cannot let up. Where are the ninjas? Where are the enforcers? Who's your Luca Brasi? What's going on? You better sit back and say, oh, by the way, vendetta like you cannot believe. The V, start putting on that Guy Fawkes mask. Let him have it. What are you doing? Don't. I made some, that's about it. Let me also say something about the president. When you are, sometimes you escape death. Maybe it was sometimes when people have had terminal diagnoses and they've made it. They've made it. You know what I mean? They've made it. They've survived. It does something to you. It does something to you. It really does. It makes you feel like, I've got to focus on what really matters, what really care about. Okay. All right, fine, fair enough. I can understand people do that. I can understand. I know people do this, and I recognize that fact. Believe me, I get it. But not now. Not now. See, you never hear about this. When you, it's so funny. I had a friend of mine who is very, I can't tell you the story, but you find it very interesting. But a friend of mine, their father was in D-Day, Omaha Beach. And I don't know about you, but everybody was Omaha Beach. Everybody was at D-Day. Everybody, not Juneau, not Gold, Omaha. Okay, all right. Everybody was there. Everybody was at Woodstock. Everybody, I got it. But one time they put together a little shadow box with all of his CIB, combat infantry badge, and his medal, and papers, and his orders, and his picture, and the whole bit. And this little guy, this little grandpa, Nando, he looks like this little old guy, he's so harmless. But they showed him at like 18, 19 years old. And he had a look on his face. Remember how they always used to wear their cap to the side? He had a look on his face like, don't you even. These people were killers. Okay? And when they finally got a hold of, when they, you always hear about these stories. This one story about how this, there was the famous German fighter that escorted the bomber in, Stiglitz, whatever his name was. Remember the story? There was an American bomber, World War II, just completely shot up, no guns, no nothing, just trying to land. And this German Messerschmitt gets behind him and thinks to himself, what's the point? This poses no. So the German soldier, or the German pilot, took to the wing and did like this and said, come on, follow me in. So the German soldier, the German artillery anti-aircraft wouldn't shoot him down. And once he cleared him, he said goodbye, and they never saw each other again until they found out they lived next to less than 200 miles from each other. One was in Seattle, one was in British Columbia. Anyway, they got to be the best of friends. And this story, and it's real great. And the Americans didn't want the story to get out because they didn't want to make it sound like the Nazi or the Germans were humane, and the Nazis didn't want that, to let them know that they were weak. Okay. You know what the real story was? Not that story, but the real was. When these soldiers, these guys, Grandpa and Pawpaw and Uncle Murray and all this, showed up, and they finally came upon these German soldiers, and they remembered about what they did. They opened up. They violated every Geneva Convention rule, and who can blame them? And who's there to charge them? We're not talking My Lai here, and it's not ruthlessness. It's the idea that you tried to destroy me. You tried to destroy me. Do you know what happens during a chimp attack? You ever heard about this? And you're probably wondering, why is he going into these stories? Bro, literally, listen to him. It's Uncle Lenny. I'm not your bro. Bro, literally. Why are you saying literally? Because, during some of these chimp attacks, you know what they do? This is weird. They bite your fingers off and rip your face. And for men, They grab your ugats and pull them right off. Why? Think about that one. Because we don't want you to perpetuate your seed. Do you ever see an elephant giving birth? It's the most beautiful thing in the world. There's one almost makes me cry. I see animal pictures and it just kills me. Mother drops the baby, little calf, bull, calf, whatever it's called. And all the other elephants come around like this, making sure it's okay. Is it okay? Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Good. Make sure, lions and predators. If a bonobo or a chimp, whatever, gives birth, they've got to go out on their own because the other ones will cannibalize it because they're demented. And they have this thing about the bloodline, about wanting to stop. You're not mine, so I don't want you to pass on your bloodline. Okay. Thank you very much, Marlon Perkins, for that disgusting story about Mr. President, you've got to be a chimp. Go right for it. Rip them off. Show no mercy. It's not Christian. And I know you went through this thing. Fine. Because guess who perhaps, and I don't know, but guess who inspired this lunatic to do that? Those people you're on the phone with saying, hey, thank you. They're doing it because they have to. They want you removed. Don't forget J6. Don't forget any of this stuff. They want you behind bars forever. I don't have to. And I know you're going through this change of heart now. I know you're probably thinking like, I guess life. Should I rededicate? No! Mm-mm. You want people to say, don't mess with Trump. Whatever you do, don't do it. Just don't do it. It's the first rule of self-defense, martial arts. Get out. Get out. Can you get out? Yeah. Leave. Yeah, but I want, no. Get out. This is what you want him to believe. Don't fall for this. Don't think like, I've given a new lease on life. No. Yes, you have, and that's great. And I'll take that up with your maker and all that. But in the meantime, do it for us. Do it for Uncle Lenny here. Come on, bro. Literally, do it. Make them have your ninja team. You want to have Luca Brasi. You want to have this Al Neri. Remember that? Remember Godfather 2? Remember Michael's Luca Brasi? Al Neri? That's the guy you want. Or the other one too. What's his name? The guy with the black hat. He was actually a very famous, he's like a Slavic sculptor. Remember him? The fellow in Godfather 2? Muffaletta or something. I don't know. He had a name that nobody ever used. That's what you want. You want the guy, bring him in. Bring in Muffaletta, whatever. Yeah. I want you to take care of him. That's it. And go for it. And I want you to bring in your next DOJ, your next head, and I want you to show them the chimp attack. You see what they're doing? Yeah, look, he's ripping off. See what they're ripping off? Yeah, that's exactly right. His guguzza, his coglione. You want me to play it again for you? No, I want you to watch this. Ladies too, watch this. See that? That's what I want you to do. And even if they don't have them, doesn't matter. Make them know we were here. Make them know we were here. Strike terror in their name just by Kaiser Sose meets whatever it is. If you think that they have any indication of being nice, you're out of your mind. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. So, my friends, we've come this way. We've been a long way, haven't we? We've been through a lot together, haven't we? Think about this. Think of the hell we've been through. Think about this. And all of these demented people, all of these lunatics that we've had to deal with, all brought to you by this coot. Remember when, who was it? Not Fanucci, whatever his name was, Don. I forget the name of the guy. When Don, the young Vito Corleone, goes back to avenge his mother, he didn't let time pass. He looked at this old guy, Don, what's his name? Don Ciccio. Was that his name, Don Ciccio? I guess Fanucci's the black hand, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, French. Don Ciccio, yeah. He was the guy, yeah. He played by Giuseppe Silato. This was the guy who went back after he killed his mother and his father, whatever. Vito Andolini. He didn't forget. He didn't say, let's let bygones go by. No, he went back and he remembered that. Why? To get the bloodline, because that's it. Nature is not kind. And the good Lord will say, I understand. Why? Because you gave me this tendency, didn't you? I'm not going up to innocent people, Lord. I'm not doing that. I'm not going after people who didn't hurt me, hurt my country. They've got it coming. We got to make sure they don't do it again. I'll never forget one time, my parents used to always tell me, there was an oven door that was open. And there was a metal, like the hinge, and the oven came like this. And my mother said, be careful, that's hot. And I was like this, and she says, no, that's hot. And I didn't know what hot meant. They swear, they tell me it's kind of cruel, but I remember it. She goes, that's hot. Okay, be careful. All right, what's this hot business? Sure enough, I never forgot what hot meant. It's that simple. Never forgot. Certain things in life, you want to teach them a lesson. You want people to say, oh my God, there's Trump. We underestimated him. Because remember, I want you to understand this. This is not about Trump. This is about the Republic. Remember the other scene from The Godfather. Michael, tuo padre ti voglio bene assai. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Calais has something to say. Chris says, I tried to send a Godfather reference, not happening. Well, what are you going to do? Always spread words, spread them apart. You know how it is. Don't talk to me about algorithms. You have no idea the stories I could tell you. You have no idea the stories I could tell you. That's all I'm going to tell you. But thank you for that. We're looking at the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. That's what we're looking at. DEI is dead after this. After Melissa McCarthy, that's it. It's done. We're done. That's it. The name, ooh. Any of you young enough remember Shinola? Ooh, that name. Ooh. Well, there's a leather company. I think there's one downtown called Shinola. But ooh. Who remembers AIDS candy? Anybody old enough remember AIDS candy? AIDS. Remember that? AIDS? Remember that? It's kind of interesting. This was obviously before the terrible, a true pandemic or whatever it was. It was really weird. Say, hey, Joe, you look great. You lost some weight. How'd you do it? AIDS, not good. So they changed the name of it, all right? It happens. Just like the name gay. We're gay and happy, gay. No. We want to change things. DEI, woke, is going the way of Shinola. You ain't ever going to hear that one again. And this woman will be forever in our annals, in our meme annual. Pepe and all these other people, the NPC things, and you're going to see this woman with her, whatever, trying to get her gun in her holster. This little butterball, bless her heart, Melissa McCarthy, standing there. She's going to be there. Jessica Starr, no, it's gone. It's finished. Done. And Mr. President, you've got to end it. All right, you bunch of rollicksome, crazy cats, you. Lefcher, thank you. Bradley Opland, thank you. Charles Calais, thank you, my friend. And don't forget, follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors on YouTube. Lynn's Warriors. Do it now. Lynn's Warriors. Fighting the fight to protect children, to stop child predation, digital safety, when to promote, and also stop human trafficking. Lynn's Warriors. Okay. Thanks for here. Thanks for signing up. Make sure you subscribe to Lionel Legal. We've got loads of new followers. We're building this channel up. We're going to have channels all over the place. We love you. Have a great and a glorious day, my friends. We'll talk to you later when I decide. And don't forget, President Trump, rip them off. Rip them off. You got it? Good. And don't forget these. The monkey's dead. That's interesting. Speaking of bonobos and whatever. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Ta-ta.